This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Brian Edward Hill, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all. This is a world of capes and lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Good morning, everyone. Another episode. It's kind of different. Lilith is not here today. She had an emergency, but me and Charlie are here holding down the fort, and we have a special guest.
Hi, I'm Lilith. There's the emergency.
There's an emergency. Yeah. Something happened to her.
Anyway. Introduce me, Phil?
I was going to hit the music and introduce you.
Oh, I've got music. Let's do it.
All right, everyone. Capes and Lunatics 94. Marching to 100 starts right now. He's been here 30 seconds. He's already trying to run the show. Anyway.
Someone has to.
You can show yourself the door, Charlie Esser.
Well done, Charlie Esser.
All right, playing the part of Lilith Hellfire this morning is owner, operator, janitor of Southgate Media Group.
Still doesn't say my name. It's Rob Southgate. Or, you know what? I am going to be Lilith. I'm going to say
he doesn't
Rats, Riverdale. I love everything. I hate everything. Archie. Phil. Okay, there you go. Fight me. There you go. So I filled the part of Lilith.
Oh, yeah.
Admirably.
So, yeah, it's Rob Southgate. I am actually here to promote something, but I'm going to join in the conversation, even though I am so far behind on seeing everything. I'll just be color commentary.
Ooh.
Yeah. So let me start out. I want to start out by saying something. I am going to take control of the show. I just want to say something up front. I love what you guys do with this show. I've been loving Sidekicks. I've been loving Capes and Lunatics. I think it's just a lot of fun. And Charlie, well done with Nuff Said. That was a big deal for me to hand Nuff Said over to you. Because that was the baby. That was the one that started. That was one of the initial shows that started it all. Jack and I had a lot of success with that early on. In fact, even Marvel had taken notice of us way back. Yeah. I met one of the head guys of their TV division, and when I said I'm Rob from Nuff Said, he was like, "Oh, I love you guys." He started telling me stuff about our show, and I was like, "Oh, somebody's listening." So that was a big deal for me to like back away and say, you know what, I'm mishandling this because I'm just not able to record as much. And I think Charlie and Maz would do an awesome job. So you are doing an awesome job, Charlie. Now he's gone. He's frozen. Don't
tell me he missed that.
Which is the best thing ever. We'll just tell him I was really mean for 5 minutes.
Oh, my Lord.
And we're back.
Oh, my Lord. I can't believe you.
Right about it? Now I have two Charlies in my
screen. He clones himself. Oh, my Lord. That was the best timing. Rob was just, like, telling you what a great job you've been doing with Nuff Said and everything, and you missed the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Oh, well.
You'll have to go back and listen to the compliment, because there's not going to be another one doled out throughout this.
At first I was like, oh, my God, he's speechless.
No, that doesn't happen.
I know.
Yeah, no. My computer decided, hey, this would be a great time, as it always does.
To die.
It says, let's just randomly reboot now. So that's why I'm on the cellular phone now. Ooh.
Well, it looks good, it sounds good, and that mustache is mighty.
Yes, it is. I tell you, I just started this one day. I am so happy with my Fu Manchu. It is.
I love it.
Gives me joy.
I love it. Are you going to grow it down so it actually kind of comes off the chin a little bit? Maybe
I don't know.
Down there?
I don't know if my facial hair will grow like that. Generally speaking, I mean, I don't know. You know, I have a real problem with pica. That's actually my biggest problem with growing out facial hair because I do eat it. As a nervous habit, you know.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to throw up a little bit. No, go ahead.
Oh, like you don't eat your mustache hair.
Everybody does.
That's when you get a little soup in it. That's how you.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
I know, clam chowder. That was about what do we have? Clam chowder. Oh, that was good.
I'm not a fancy man.
But anywhoosies, hey, I'm Charlie the Professor Esser because I didn't do my intro, and Yeah.
Well, Rob gave you a nice little intro there.
That was nice.
The brain behind Enough Said.
Yeah, well, it's over now.
Well, no, that's fine. Yeah, if I'm not here, I'll hear it because I do listen to the show on occasion. It will come on my feed, you know.
We're not just fans. We're not just hosts. We're fans as well.
Yeah.
So, Charlie, I saw there was a poster for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that came out this week. I don't know if you saw that, but they're just kind of promoting. So, are you excited for the new season?
Of course I am. I am very excited. Maz says he is going to go work. I know we're going to be taking over the Enough Said feed for that. So I'm so excited. And I can't wait to talk about it because I am just so enamored of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Even tying it right into my Captain Marvel series, which we'll get into on Super Connectivity.
But yeah, I mean, we've been theorizing, is there a reason it comes out after Avengers Endgame, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and of course, as we saw in the trailer, they say, May was with Phil until the end, but we do see that Phil is still alive, which is she saying she was with him till the end when he faded?
That's what I'm telling
and
you.
Now
right.
Yes.
Maybe the snap cures him.
Are they going to do something that's going to bring us back to it tying in? Because, I mean, if we go back to season 1, we had Nick Fury on there, and then we had Sif on there, and it all tied in, even though they were like, no, it's not tying in. It was tying in. Are they going to do something with that? I mean, this is their chance to do that, especially with them launching their Disney Channel. We're not going to call it that, but their Netflix killer, which it's not going to be.
Disney Plus or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is, which I'm totally going to subscribe to the second I can. But this is an opportunity for them to do something that their biggest competitor, DC, has failed miserably at, which is actually tie it together. Do they need to have it be 100%? No. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. can be over here doing whatever they want to do. They just need to know, hey, we know Captain Marvel's coming out. How do we have something that reacts to that? How can we have them in the same universe and they get affected by the big things, but what they do doesn't necessarily affect what's happening for the team? I think this is their opportunity to really reestablish that. And then it would be really smart if they took Endgame and we had like a cameo of Ghost Rider or a cameo of Quake or something. You're like, oh, snap, there it is. Just like they need to do with the HBO shows or whatever, Netflix shows that are now defunct. How they have not had Daredevil in the Avengers, I cannot even fathom. I can see the other ones like, okay, they can skip over the Heroes for Hire, even though I would love to see them make an appearance. Mm-hmm. Daredevil is one of the pillars, in my opinion. You know I'm a huge Daredevil fan.
Well,
but Daredevil is a pillar. And think about the great Spider-Man Daredevil stories.
Yeah.
You could easily pull one Daredevil Spider-Man story. It would be a huge film.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm much more excited about Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin in the third Spider-Man film than I am about Daredevil ever showing up. Honestly, Vincent D'Onofrio's, and Vincent is totally down with it.
I'm totally down with it too. And you better shut your mouth because Daredevil needs to get into the MCU, Charlie Esser.
Oh, well, okay. I mean,
you know what? This is like saying Archie sucks to Lilith. You're going to set me off.
I'm not saying Daredevil sucks. I love Daredevil. I just kind of feel, first off, here's the thing. Rob, I'm a big believer that you have to have a motivational reason in the story for a character to show up. I don't think you can just put a character in because you like it. I think, we all like
here's the motivation. He's been defending New York at a street level this whole time, and he runs into Spider-Man, and boom, we have an actual reason these two have to work together, and Kingpin would be a really good one.
Oh, and that is, right there, that is great. So you can get Daredevil in that story, but first off, you need the Kingpin. See, that's the connection. So once you bring in Wilson Fisk,
you can bring in Kingpin for 5 minutes, and then that would give us enough motivation to go, oh, snap, Kingpin's here. All right, we better have Daredevil show up and do his thing.
Oh, yeah. Please.
Hey, when they got canceled, do you think Daredevil saw it coming? Oh, yeah. So sweet.
But, I mean, if you can have Hawkeye on the Avengers, you can have Daredevil on the Avengers. Come on.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying Daredevil can't be on the Avengers. So, as an example, because we went over this in the past about why Spider-Man was chosen over Luke Cage or Daredevil or Jessica Jones when...
What, for the Avengers?
No, well, for Civil War.
Yeah.
Why did Tony bring in... And the reason why is because he wanted someone, much in the way that, Superior Spider-Man brings in video game Spider-Man.
Because Spider-Man brings in #1 in licensing money over Batman. That is why Spider-Man shows up in everything.
Well, yes. Yes, Rob, obviously.
And now he's an Oscar winner, so of course Spider-Man shows up everywhere.
Yes, but it's about what is the story. See, this isn't a DC film.
It's about money. I wish it was about story.
No, it is about money. It is about money, but the money comes because of the story. This isn't a DC film where you can just put whatever you want into it and it's fine. Marvel fans demand...
I would say it's fine. You watched Justice League. It wasn't fine.
Yes. Well, it made money. That's the thing. It's money.
Yes,
it made money. And if all you want to do is make money, you can make an Aquaman. And that made money.
I still haven't seen Aquaman. Is that any good?
It's good enough. There's one scene that really hurts it.
In the beginning.
Aside from that, in the beginning, that takes you completely out of anything for that character.
There are good bits and pieces, but I mean, Charlie and I really didn't like the character of Aquaman.
It was a great film if you didn't have Aquaman in it.
It made huge money, and it was super popular. Yeah. I kept getting this weird feeling that it wasn't that great. I kept hearing things about the visuals and how fun Jason Momoa is, and I'm like,
that's those modern DC movies. It's like, oh, look at this pretty thing we have. Don't pay attention to the story.
Yeah, but Wonder Woman had some depth in it, even though it fell apart in a couple of areas. Yeah. It had some depth, and it had like the No Man's Land segment is just a glorious thing to watch. Wonder Woman was a kind of an exception. I don't think it was the best superhero movie by a long shot, even though people are like, yes, just like this is going to be controversial, but I don't think Black Panther is the best of the Marvel movies. Do I like Black Panther? Yeah, I think it's a great movie. But I think Winter Soldier is a better film. I think that there have been better movies, but I think it stands tall.
Yeah, from storytelling, I think Winter Soldier is a really amazing film.
Or even just Infinity War, just like all the moving pieces and all the different stories going on.
Yeah, Infinity War pulled off a team thing that DC has not. DC keeps throwing them all in the bag and then shaking it up and going, did we get it?
Yeah.
Whereas Infinity War, they threw them in the bag, they shook it up, and then they went, you know what, now we got to make everything that's shaken in here make sense. Okay, I guess we'll make Peter Quill a bad guy. What? Okay. And he was not a bad guy in it. He
wasn't a bad guy, and
just a dumb guy.
He lost his temper.
He was reactionary.
And as I have said, Rob, he was supposed to, because there's only one way that we win, and that involves them not defeating Thanos. Because if they had defeated Thanos, which they might have, which in 14 million universes they quickly defeated Thanos,
right?
Because he's not all that. Tony Stark then has an Infinity Gauntlet, and Tony Stark, and nobody wants Tony. And that was what Doctor Strange really saw. It's like, oh my goodness, how can I keep this out of Tony Stark's hands?
Just like it's exactly what they were implying with Winter Soldier, and then into Civil War, where it's like, as they're talking about this government intervention, they're talking about who represents it. Tony is a problem now. All right, let's talk about that for a second. I'm sorry, I took control of your show.
No, it's fine. Now I know how Lilith feels.
Yeah. I like that Phil's just sitting there quietly waiting for his moment to do some kind of sound effect because he's not getting a word in on this one. No, Phil, I want to talk. I want to talk to you too. So, Endgame. We know people are going to die.
I'm sorry. What? You mean Electric Boogalore?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
We know that people are going to die, and we know that things are going to change. Do you think they're going to, like, this is really, like, we kill off this iteration of Cap, we kill off this iteration of Iron Man. Are they going to do all that, or are they going to do a reset? This is an opportunity. They've established there's all these different timelines, and there are different dimensions. Could we get a bleed through, and all of a sudden Spider-Man, because we know Spider-Man goes back to Sony at some point. Could they get a Spider-Man type character in from this point forward? Could they? Okay.
Okay. Well, okay. Let me. Well, here's the basic.
Not even
problem.
Spider-Woman.
Marvel has made
Charlie,
their
what about Spider-Woman?
Well, you can throw in a Spider-Woman at any time. Here's the thing: is Marvel going to kill Captain America? No. Is Marvel going to kill Tony?
Oh no, they totally could. They could totally kill him.
They
and make
could.
Sam Wilson Cap.
They could.
That would be a heartbeat. I don't think it's the actor that makes the character, even though we are attached to him. I think they could turn that on a dime. If they took another, 30-year-old white dude and made him Captain America, then you have a problem. Just like with Iron Man. They could kill off Tony and have Ironheart take over. And you'd be like, wait a minute, I'm kind of down with this.
Yeah, but
now, every character turns into a female, that's not going to work.
Yeah, but you don't I probably don't kill, but do you retire some of these guys?
Well,
you want to bring in the new ones, but then you can always have a cameo by Robert Downey Jr. whenever you want. Or
Sure.
Well, let me give you a fun alternate story. And though I reject the notion of time travel as the
even though they're doing time travel in this,
they might do time travel.
Yeah.
Can we take bets?
Well, here's what I'll tell you. They may do time travel.
Do I need to mark some words because they're going to time travel, Charlie?
They do not solve the problem. My statement is they do not solve the problem by time travel.
Using time travel. Wait a minute. It might not be time travel. They might be skipping to a different dimension. Have you read, well, I'm sure you have, the Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen story where she's Spider-Woman and and they start hopping between the universes just like they did in the Spider-Man Spider-Verse. They have that thing on their wrist. That thing on Miles' wrist in that series looks a hell of a lot like the thing that Tony and Cap have on in the stills we've seen. Could they be going to a different timeline to do all that, or a different dimension, rather than actual time travel?
Well, and again, I'm not going to discount the possibility of time travel. I'm not even going to discount the...
You put it in the Charlie Dollar store. I saw it.
No, actually, Rob, if you listen, what I said was they don't solve the problem through time travel. Time travel may be a part of it, but that is not the way that they solve it, because the way they're going to solve it is they have to return things. They can't just try to go in the past, because not for nothing, the alternate timeline theory that you can't fix the past was already blown out on Future Man. So within that, I
remember Future Man being in the MCU.
Well, but they explained it away, and it makes that very valid point, and that's already established in the Marvel comic book universe that you don't fix the past. That if you go back into the past, all you can do is create another alternate universe.
Timeline. Yeah, which is what they established with
that was pre-Bendis, so you can mess with the timeline all you want now.
Yeah, but they also had Doctor Strange basically talk about the various timelines. It established all of this, and that's why I'm saying it might be going to a different timeline. They might be going back and trying to fix at that point, but I have a feeling they're going back to observe where the opportunity is and take out Thanos in a particular timeline and then try to collapse the other timelines where Thanos has taken over. And Farmer Thanos is going to be a hero in this one, and it's going to be freaking weird. And Gamora's not dead. And let's see, what else? What else can we say about this?
Well, I think that's what you talked about, that maybe someone was manipulating Thanos, or...
Yeah, well, I don't know if they were manipulating him.
Pointing him in the direction they wanted him to go.
Well, okay, they've already established...
But have we seen Lady Death? I can't remember.
Okay,
no.
They've already established that Loki was under the influence of the Mind Stone. So they are working towards this idea that the stones are sentient, which is, of course, something that which is not true in the comics, but I had suggested a long time ago that the stones, because they used to say the stones want to be together. Here's my big prediction. You want my real...
Wait, Phil, get the music.
Yeah, here's my big prediction.
I'm going the stones want to be together.
Stones want to be together because the stones want to reform into something. And then that becomes the big bad. The stones want to become the
stones turn into a creature that is the big bad.
The stones want to, and then the only way to defeat the stones is to break them apart again and then keep them separate. So maybe if you want Thanos as a hero, they let Thanos hold on to one stone, except maybe they realize you can't do that. You need someone who is not tempted by the stones.
Aunt May.
In which case, Aunt May. Oh. No, you give them to the elders of the universe who used to maintain the stones, because the elders are the people that can stand against each other so no one can take a stone from them, and they also are monomaniacal in their obsession, so they will not see a point in taking over the universe.
Well, in the real world, then they should just give it to you, Charlie, because everything you just described is Charlie Esser.
I got it.
Yeah, well, I'm monomaniacal, so.
I got a theory that solves a lot of their, that ticks a lot of boxes. Okay, are we going to get an Infinity Watch where you give a stone to each person and they have to safeguard it away from the others?
Yeah, I think you're going to get the Illuminati in the next chapter of all of this, and I think that's how they're going to do it.
And if you want to retire those original Avengers, how many original Avengers are there? 6. How many stones are there? 6.
So each one takes it and they blast them off into
wherever. And they all go off in their separate directions, so the stones don't come together. And then but
they're friends. That's a little weird.
Yeah, and Black Widow has a movie coming up.
Well, so. It's like, well, it's like, if you want to save the universe, we can't ever,
But I could see Banner taking a stone to his buddy, what's his name? Krang or whatever, the guy,
Korg.
Korg. I could see him giving one to him. Mm-hmm. I could see the Guardians, who would they give it to? Certainly not Rocket.
Charlie, what if the Mind Stone gives us Professor Hulk?
That would be possible. That'd be fun. Oh man, because we got the Gladiator Hulk.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, we're getting I think it's pretty well thought that we're getting Professor Hulk in this.
Does he have a Fu-Manchu?
No.
Are we going to have these Fox properties show up at the end? I still say that's going to happen.
Even if it's after credits.
Maybe
either after credits or as we see this all start to blend, whatever. Because I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to see the timelines collapse into this one cohesive thing, and maybe it will rectify the other timelines, but you'll have this bleed over. And I think that's when all of a sudden, and I don't think we're going to see Wolverine show up. I did for a long time. I think Hugh Jackman is definitely done. I think they're going to recast it before they let him in there, although they should. They should let him show up as Wolverine, and then when at the very last second, somebody else is donning the thing. Like, you see Wolverine die, and then you see this, hand go snick, and you're like, wait a minute, that's not Hugh Jackman.
They need him to come in as Old Man Logan, and then they, kind of kill him, and he regenerates as whoever the new actor is.
Oh, like Doctor Who.
There we go.
The other thing that would be awesome is if he did not sing any tunes from Greatest Showman. That would be awesome.
I don't know. You have a voice like Hugh Jackman's, and you don't have him sing. I don't know.
I think he did a great job in that. Martha and Molly loves that show. Our daughter Molly loves that movie. We watched it, and we both sat there going, how come the kids are not aging, and it's supposed to be years going by? How is he supposed to be 20, and he looks like old man Rob?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that we were like,
this is a problem you have when you adapt theater, where you can fix things with makeup to film, which you are getting better at. Because let's face it, we're getting young Nick Fury and
he looks awesome.
Young Phil Coulson. Yes.
Yep, they look awesome.
Well, that's Charlie's joke. Next year, he said Sam Jackson for Captain Marvel's going to get best animated character.
Yeah, really.
CGI the whole time.
That's awesome.
Honestly, they should. Well, honestly, not for nothing. When you come into this question at
Sam
the
Jackson won the GGOT this year. Did you know that?
What is the GGOT? Oh,
how dare you, Charlie?
You mean the EGOT?
No, I mean the GGOT. This Week in Geek gives away the Geek version.
Oh, okay.
And he won the GGOT. So
okay, well, mazel tov for him.
And technically, he could be best animated character as well for that. So
okay, so
how do you not know that, Charlie? You don't even love your network.
Oh, you know what? Oh goodness, I listen to a lot of things. Enough said. Fair enough. I don't watch everything on all of our streams. I
don't either.
I actually have. Clearly, you've never listened to this show, so he doesn't even know we introduce ourselves, Phil. That you give an intro and then we say our name. And I was like, "Well, what you're supposed to say my name?" It's like that's not how we do it here, Rob.
I'm still waiting for Phil to do it.
Yes.
Oh.
Anyway, but it's okay. It's okay. Not every podcast is for everybody. I listen to Grammar Girl.
Have we talked about enough Marvel here? Well, never enough,
definitely.
right? Hey, can I plug
there's
our
never
event?
enough. Sure, let's have an event.
Okay, so the reason you guys asked me to be on here is not my stellar personality. Are you drinking beer this early, or is that apple juice?
That's apple juice.
Beer is apple juice, isn't it?
No, it's apple juice.
Angry Orchard, Angry Esser. Oh, we might have a new character, Angry Esser. Let's get him drunk and do a show. See what
you
happens.
wouldn't like me when I'm angry. It takes so much to get me drunk, or maybe not enough. You have to listen to the previous shows to find out.
So we have an event coming up. We do a lot of events, and I don't know if your audience knows this, but as Southgate Media Group, we do a lot of events. Most of them are based in Chicago because that's where I am. That's where Martha is. We would love it if we expanded outward, but we just need people to do it. Phil, Charlie. I'm sorry, I just had a little something in my throat.
Yes.
So anyway, let's go back. 5 years ago, we started a thing called the SMG Podcast Marathon. You guys were part of it virtually, and did your YouTube thing, and it was really cool. We've done 4 of those. Then last year, we got asked to do one at Indie PopCon in Indianapolis. So we did 10-hour marathon there? And it's great. We switch out shows every half hour. Boom, 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 boom. New show every half hour. You go and sit in the room, and I mean, you're just inundated with podcasts. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. And we're all about indie podcasts. So it's not like, hey, my favorite murder is in the room, because they're not going to do a half hour, and their audience is going to walk out as soon as they're done. We want people to sit there and enjoy all this diversity in podcasting, right? So we did Indie PopCon last year. It was really great. They asked us back. We're doing it again this year. There's something that we have not announced officially yet. So scoop for Capes. We're already planning what we're going to do next. We also last year started the Women in Podcasting Festival, which you guys actually would be eligible for because it has to have a host that is female identifying. So Lilith is a host. And you guys could be on a Women in Podcasting Festival. The next one of those, officially, the big one, is happening on International Women's Day next year, 2020. So that's like May 9th, I think? March 9th? I don't know off the top of my head. I'm usually pretty good. That one I don't have. Now you're caught up. So, I finished my bachelor's, I finished my master's this year. I'm brain dead from all this. I finished my master's and went, wow, I have all this free time. What do we do? And Martha said, let's book a college tour and start doing more marathons. Okay, so we started thinking about it. I took over 2 podcasting groups on Facebook, which you guys should be in if you're not. Chicago Podcasters Unite and Chicago Podcasters. You don't have to be in Chicago to be in those. So if you're not in them, Charlie, Phil, get in them.
I'm actually in Chicago Podcasters for some reason.
Yeah, I put you in.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm in. That was the first I've heard about Struggling Podcasters Unite. I will join today.
Yes, good. So we've got these 2 groups, and we started doing meetups with these groups. And then I contacted C2E2 and I said, hey, you guys do these fan events. Can we have a room for a meetup? And they said, yeah, absolutely. So they gave us a room on Friday. We're doing Friday of C2E2. So the 22nd, we are doing a meetup for Chicago Podcasters Unite. This is open, though. So if there's any fans of podcasting, a fan of Capes and Lunatics, it's going to be at C2E2. Stop on by, meet any of the podcasters that are there. It's just going to be a wide group of people. So it's fans, it's podcasters, it's networking. You want to get into podcasting, guess who's going to be walking around there? Me. You can come and talk to me, and I'll be happy to give you all sorts of information and help you out. So that's what's happening there. So then I went, hey, I interviewed Mike, who started C2E2, or he's one of the guys that runs it. And I said, when I was talking to him, they also run, that's ReadPop. They also run the New York Comic Con and Emerald City Comic Con. And I said, your podcasting hand is weak. And he said, well, yeah, I really love podcasters. I'd love to get more involved. And I said, well, you used to have Podcast Alley in New York. And he said, yeah, that was great. And I said, no, it's not. Nobody wants to go down Podcast Alley. It's all like 40-year-old white dudes in pajama pants that haven't bathed. Unless you have a specific reason to go down there, you're going to avoid that like the plague, right? And he was like, yeah, it didn't do very well. I said, you need an event. You need to do something with podcasters. Told him about what we were doing for Indie PopCon. He said, yeah, we should totally do that. I forgot we said that. He forgot we said that. After we got our meetup, I contacted his people and said, you wouldn't happen to have a room to do a marathon, would you? And they said, oh my God, no, we're so packed, but we love the idea. Then I was on their website and I saw they had fan events that are off-site like a week before. They're trying to like build hype around it, just like they do at Comic-Con in San Diego, right? I said, do you want to do something with that? Maybe something in a bar? And they said, yeah, we love it. So that's where this came from. And we had all these terrible names for it. It was Comic or Geeky Podcast Palooza, which was terrible. Every poster looked awful. We had all these things, but we were like, C2E2 is involved in this. It's going to be a great event. We started lining up podcasts. We ended up at Beat Kitchen, which is an awesome venue. Holds 150 people. It's got a stage. It's got lighting. It looks like an old punk rock club. So there's like posters and stickers all over the place. It's just freaking cool. And they're not legit. It's legit. It's not like when you walk into an Applebee's and you're like, oh, look, rock posters. These are posters and stickers of people that played there. And it's so freaking cool. So we're set up. It's going to be March 16th. You all right there, Phil? I see you coughing.
I'm all right.
Yeah, his e-cig, backed up on him. So he still can't talk. He's verklempt. So March 16th at Beat Kitchen. It's called, the name of the show is Chicago Podcasters Unite. We have a bunch of podcasts on it. In fact, I'm going to pull up the lineup here. And some of these you're going to really dig. Charlie, especially, is going to go, what? First of all, Elliot Serrano, who is like the Chicago geek, he's on WGN here, and he writes Grumpy Cat, and he wrote some of the Ash vs. the Evil Dead comics. He is going to be doing interviews. I pulled myself out of it. I'm not on the show. I handed it over to Elliot. He's going to interview 3 different comic book artists that are in Artist Elliot at C2E2. He's going to be interviewing Unshaven Comics. I can't think of his name because he hasn't used that in any promotional stuff. He's going to be interviewing Art Baltazar. Do you know Art Baltazar from Aw Yeah Comics? He did Itty Bitty Hellboy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Art is going to be there interviewed. He's a phenomenal interview and just a great artist. Big draw, too. And we have Gene Ha. Do you know Gene Ha?
Yeah.
Gene Ha, Eisner Award winner that I think Art won an Eisner also, that worked with Alan Moore. So this is a guy, he's done some crazy stuff. He has great Alan Moore stories too, by the way. So they're going to be interviewed. We have a show called Desks and Day Jobs, which is they play like D&D characters, only all the settings are real world. So it's like, I'm a barbarian and I have to make coffee for my boss. So it's really funny. We have a couple of video game ones. We have Nintendo Maine, where they talk all about Nintendo. We have one called Smashing Theory, all about games, and I think it started from Smash Brothers, but I think it's gone out. Backstage Gaming. We have Freak of the Week, which is like an improvised paranormal talk show. We have Popcorn Psychology. They were on Women in Podcasting. Oh my God, I love this show. They are 3 therapists that take a character, like they did Logan. They watched Old Man Logan, and then they analyzed Logan. And it's not dry at all. It's a phenomenal show. They did the Logan one was just great. They did Bates also. They did Psycho. They did it's just really great. So they're going to be there doing one. I don't know who they're doing. I think they're doing a character study on somebody like Iron Man. Wild Claw Theater presents Death Scribe. Wild Claw Theater is a horror theater in Chicago that's exceptional. They have a podcast that is based on this thing called Death Scribe. Death Scribe is like an audio drama horror contest every year that they do. I think they're in their 13th year here. I might be wrong on that. Close to it if I'm wrong. We'll say 13th because it sounds creepier. They're coming and doing one of their shows live with live Foley on stage. We have, who else have I named? Starlight Radio Hour is also a audio drama, but they are more of a comedy-based one. They're going to be live on stage doing their thing, I believe, with live Foley as well. And Improvised D&D, which is a stage show that Southgate Media Group is helping adapt into a podcast, which is hilarious. And finally, we have Time Crash, which is Chicago's very own Doctor Who tribute band, is there as our on-stage house band, which is awesome. And they play Ronan from the lead singer plays a guitar called the Guitardus. It is custom made. It looks like the TARDIS. It is freaking awesome. So, I mean, we've got a lot of really cool stuff, and it's very comic booky. We're going to have coloring pages by Daryl Young. Have you ever seen Daryl Young stuff? If you haven't, look up Daryl Young, DARRYL Young. I know both of you guys would love his artwork. It's phenomenal. And he did coloring pages for us. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be awesome. And then afterwards, we start at 6 o'clock, and then it goes until 11, technically. At 11, we're just going to turn up the music and everybody drink and have fun.
Yay! Drinking and having fun.
Yeah. So go to Southgate Media Group. You can look up Chicago Podcasters Unite on Facebook. We have a Facebook event. Phil, I'm sure you'll put it in the show notes.
Yes.
You can go to our website, SouthgateMediaGroup.com, and there's a logo that says C2E2 and then Chicago Podcasters Unite. It's all there. Plus, if you're in Chicago and you haven't gotten your C2E2 tickets, we're giving away 3 tickets that night, 3-day passes to C2E2.
Ooh.
Yes. So this is going to be one hell of an event. And I'm not even on it.
And
I'll probably walk up and say, hi, thanks for coming. And then I'm gone.
And Charlie, do you know where Rob's appearing in April?
Maybe Phil.
I thought you gave me a definite.
I'm at a maybe now because it turns out we're going to, we have tickets we're going to, I don't want to reveal, but if it conflicts, it conflicts.
Okay.
But it's a big deal.
Okay, well.
Sorry, Phil. It's a big deal.
Charlie, he may show up in Bowling Green in April.
I know. I'm looking forward to going to my fantasy alma mater to see.
Do I want to? Yes.
Charlie, Rob may be there
to see my fellow professors
as Rob Southgate.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's a lot farther for me to go than Rob. So, but if Rob has plans, then
if I'm where I'm potentially at during that time, it's a lot farther for me to go.
This is true, and honestly, if he has been asked to perform for the Queen of England, that as a business opportunity, that is important.
I'm saying nothing.
Exactly. Well, and you say volumes, so just remember,
God save the Queen.
It's Her Majesty, and I know that there's this strong Americanism to say we should not bow to an earthly king. Still, it's just polite. Just be polite when you meet her, Phil. Rob, we don't need a war over this. Okay.
I am bringing a whoopee cushion wherever I go, so.
All right.
As you should.
And then we play a game, whoopee cushion or not. See, then they have to guess which one made the noise.
See, true fact, Queen Elizabeth loves fart jokes. True story.
True fact, who doesn't, Charlie?
Oh, exactly. Exactly. A well done one. I gave a huge plug
for our event. We are going to be in June at Indie PopCon again, and that's going to be like a 10-hour marathon. And we're actually working on doing an after party like this there in Indianapolis. So that's I'm going to be tired. That's going to be a massive one. So who knows? Maybe the Capes and Lunatics people will have to go to Indianapolis.
Okay.
Something to think about.
If not for day jobs and desks, I certainly I would be your happiest traveler.
You're basic.
I did buy a lottery ticket today, so who knows? By next week.
Oh wait, I should be holding up when I nod at you. I should be holding up my Blue Box Cafe mug.
Ooh. There we go. Yeah.
Plug.
I'm big all over.
Anyway, so Rob, have you been watching the Orville at all?
No. This is where I'm going to be a terrible guest, and I may.
Well, you can just pretend. Okay,
now that I did all that, I'm going to drop out soon because I'm not going to have a lot to talk about. I've been so busy.
Okay, Rob, let me ask you this:
I haven't watched Umbrella Academy. I haven't watched Orville. I haven't watched one episode of The Flash this year. I haven't watched Gotham now that it's back. I missed the entire last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I haven't watched the last season of Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage,
Punisher,
either season of Punisher. I only saw the first episode. I was like, this is awesome. I have been busy.
Okay. Rob, can I ask you a question?
No.
Okay, never mind. I was going to ask if you've ever seen RUR or Rossum's Universal Robotics. And he's gone. Oh, no, he's right there. I thought you just said no. And I don't know. Have you ever seen those?
Saturation.
Have I ever seen what? Say it again.
Rossum's Universal Robotics, also known as RUR. It is the play from which we get the term robot. It's a Czechoslovakian play.
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, you got nothing to contribute. So
that's why I'm not on our marathon.
That's fine. Honestly, they didn't reference Rossum's Universal Robotics as much as I thought they might, because that's just where my nerd brain goes. I mean, it's still very clearly central, as it is in any Robopocalypse storyline, but it is heavily in the subtext of it. What they do reference strongly in this episode, which is Identity Part 2.
Oh, the Orville. Yeah.
Yes, the Orville. Yes, I'm segueing, Phil. This is how you segue. Okay.
Keep up, Phil. Keep up.
Yes. They reference Roots. And this is a central moment in this, because they keep on bringing up, well, humans used to have slaves. How do we know they won't have slaves again? And here's the real crux of Yonder Biscuit. As he says that, he has just told Isaac he must have a new designation. Now, for even the most casual fan of either Star Trek or Roots, you know that LeVar Burton famously played Kunta Kinte.
Yes.
And one of the most dramatic scenes in that is when they tell him he cannot be Kunta Kinte. Right. He must be Toby. And it's like, your name is Toby. Your name is Toby. Isn't
it Ed Asner hitting him with a whip when he says that?
Yeah, I believe it is Ed Asner. Now that you mentioned, I knew it was a fat guy. That's why I knew I would be a great
dare you throw shade at Ed Asner?
I think Ed Asner will be the first to admit he is an ample American. Got to be a proud ample American, Phil.
That's right.
Rob. I'm so used to yelling at Phil about things. There's a white guy on my screen. I assumed it was Phil.
I was going to say all us white guys look alike, huh, Charlie Asner?
Yeah, you do.
No, I have
That's why I call the Fu Manchu, so that you can differentiate me. That's very important. But the idea
Phil has a baby face, though. Look at that.
I know.
He can't light this thing up because it'd be like putting the camera at the sun.
Oh, listen to you talk.
But the notion of saying you cannot have your name is such a central quality to the story of the dehumanization of slavery that having the Kalon Prime do that really shows the hypocrisy of the Kalons. That they say they must destroy humans because they will enslave us, even as we enslave each other.
Right.
Towards the cause of killing all humans.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Charlie. I didn't mean to interrupt. I figured if I don't interrupt, it'll go on for an hour.
It will. It's much like you, Rob. I mean,
yeah, it is. A sponge smells its own hole. Trust me, Charlie.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't say that as an insult.
I don't take it as an insult. That's why I love Charlie.
To hear the conversation.
Charlie's my banner buddy. I love it.
But when you compare this to, say, a Futurama version of Kill All Humans,
yes,
which of course where we get the extreme version of it, all those robots are at the end of the day intended and actively individuated. So when Bender wants to kill all humans, it is intrinsic in his nature, but at the same time he is also still Bender. He doesn't stop being Bender. He just wants to kill all humans because Bender is amoral at his core.
Well, just to boil this down for Rob, who hasn't seen Orville, it's just like you'd be surprised how deep this show gets.
I have seen Orville. I just haven't seen this season.
Okay.
In fact, that's what I wanted to ask you about. In season 1, I enjoyed it quite a bit. In fact, I hated the pilot because I thought it was way too much Seth MacFarlane. Yeah. I just did. He was trying to be funny, and it was like, this is so out of place. Why? After that, the humor actually worked for me. His humor was actually the weakest part for me, even though I liked him as the captain. Whenever he tried to be funny, I was kind of like, I don't know why we're doing this. But I did like the show. But here's the issue, and this is what I want to know about season 2. If you watch season 1, as enjoyable as it was, there are pretty much every episode is a carbon copy of a Next Generation episode. You could go through and you can analyze those, and you'll go, yep, I already saw this. In fact, there's some where it's beat by beat. I saw an analysis online somebody wrote, and it was like, oh my God, they took the script from this episode and they basically translated it to this. Does season 2 feel that way, or are we into new territory now? Because I want it to go into new territory.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to tell you. The central idea that I feel that you get in Orville, and honestly, ironically, these last 2 episodes are a departure from that, because this is, although honestly it is an amazing thing to watch, it is in many ways their own take. It is their own take on the Borg, and they do it well. They do differentiate it enough that I don't think you can say it's a beat by beat.
Yeah, because they're not like just absorbing people. They're like, we were enslaved by organics, so we have to destroy all organic races.
Yeah, but what is central to this season is a lot more human interaction stories.
Yeah, and they're focusing a lot more on the other characters rather than Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think that honestly, I think that's something Seth, and for what it's worth, Brendan Braga, who is, he is the guy who created the Next Generation with help from that other guy, Gene Roddenberry. Thank you.
At Charlie Esser on Twitter.
Yeah, you can find me on the. You know what? Gene Roddenberry, he's a brilliant guy, but he also, he did have to go back to other things, and I think most of his properties after Star Trek got their best traction when other people, like any kind of cyclical storytelling, I think sometimes when someone else gets to play, like you can build a sandbox, and then when you let someone else play in it, they build a much better sandcastle than you might have thought to build yourself.
Right.
And it's not to say that you didn't do a great thing by building that sandbox, but I think one of the best things that any creator can do is to see what someone else could do with that creation. Now, sometimes they'll do something very horrible, because they make DC films still. But sometimes they'll make DC television, which is awesome. So, see, I turned it all around.
Well, no, Charlie, it's true. I mean, as somebody who owns a network and does a lot of creating, that's why I try to be hands off and hand the reins over. Look what happened with Capes and Lunatics. You guys have put together a hell of a lineup. You're building something really unique within this sandbox. It's not something I build. I love it. So it is. You are correct. You want to, as a creator, you want to step out and see what happens. Not everything is gold, but no shade at you guys. But not everything is gold, but when it works, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that's why I said, like, I love our network. I love what happens there. And I'm sure Gene Roddenberry would look at it the same way and be like, well, I don't know if he would, but he seems like
I hear he's a bit of a jerk, but that's okay.
Yeah. But I'm sure there are people within that are part integral to that look at Orville and go, this is really cool. This is a really cool, like, sidestep.
Yeah. And what I'll tell you, like, into it, one of the central things that you get in this storyline is this great interaction between the crew. Like, okay, so major spoilers. Rob, do you mind if we spoil it?
Major spoiler. I'm not paying attention. You're talking, Charlie. So,
that's
spoil all you want.
That's what my wife does too, so it's perfect. But it's reciprocal. So,
yeah, she actually just texted me and said, "Is he still talking?" I said, "No, I don't know." So.
Yes. So in this, one of the central qualities is, and of course, so major spoilers for season 2. The Doctor and Isaac do get together. They do build a relationship. And Isaac having these relationships with humans is central, but at the same time, Isaac doesn't have emotions. And Isaac does not have doesn't process things the same way that other characters do. It's fascinating. They often talk about how there's this quality of, a lot of people who are on the spectrum often identify with these emotionless characters like Data, like Spock. But at the same time, those characters always had a desire to be human. In his own way, Isaac has no desire to be human. He simply wants to participate and understand and be himself. And in that way, Isaac, it shows the frustration of people when Isaac is doing things that they do not accept. Granted, in this case, it is kill all humans. But at the same time, it also shows that Isaac, just because he is emotionless, can have moral center and understand when certain things are not a good idea. He does this when he points out that we don't have to just kill people just because we disagree with them. We don't have to, and he does take several moments where he does really show his rebellion, show individuality, which of course is the whole point of the humanity in a story like Roots. And it is really, in its own way, Roots meets RUR, because of course, whereas RUR is, of course, the universal slavery of reason. People bound by a all or nothing concept must follow to this idea that organics must be destroyed or that robots must be destroyed. And the reality of Roots is, no, we don't need to destroy. We shouldn't try to destroy things that are unique and beautiful and wonderful, and that is the entire point of the Union, and if you want to, the Federation itself. So,
nice.
In that sense, Orville really has captured what I think if you were going to do a pastiche of the Federation, this is a loving pastiche where I think something like USS Callister on Black Mirror is more of a mockery of it. It's about the Uber fan who says what it must be rather than what it can be. And I think you see that comparison, and it's a great take on it. USS Callister on Netflix in the last season of Dark Mirror. This season I haven't watched it. It's the Choose Your Own Adventure Dark Mirror. I hear it's good. Part of me wonder if it's going to be a lot like Dragon Slayer, if you ever played that game, where it's it's an A or B, and it just goes to another cutscene. It's a game of cutscenes.
I hear that it's got so many options that people are like, I'm still watching it, not getting the same thing twice.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fabulous.
I hear that too, and I'm just afraid to try and watch it, because every time I try to watch something, because I tend to watch things at 10 at night, and I'm already half asleep by then, it usually takes me like 3 tries to watch, and I still haven't finished Kim Possible. Though Tristan has told me all the plot of it. Said the new Kim Possible film.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah, the Kim Possible movie. It's good.
But, you know what? My friend Todd is the bad guy in that.
Really? You know Dr. Draken?
Yeah, Todd Stanswick. That's a friend of mine. Wasn't he a guest on your show? He was a guest on Gotham.
Yeah, it was before the bat. That's,
That's a friend of mine.
I'm not on that show, Rob. I'm not on every show.
He doesn't listen to anything he's not on.
No, I'm not saying, but I don't recognize actors, and I certainly don't recognize an actor from a voice.
He's been on a couple of different shows. No, it's the live action one. He's the live action bad guy in the movie. But he's been on something else. We've had him on a couple of different shows, because he was on 12 Monkeys, and he guested on our 12 Monkeys show. He was on Before the Bat. Great guy. Really great stories. And
well, let's try to get him on and talk about Draken. I'd love that. Because I did like his take on
contact
Draken.
info. I'm sure Todd would come on and talk to you.
I would love to.
Or do you want me to reach out to him, Phil?
I mean, if you want to reach out to him, I mean, you know him better. I mean,
he's probably got a restraining order against you. I know.
I was going to say, do we want to subject him to Charlie Esser?
Well, yeah. Honestly,
Todd's old school nerd. He and I are very similar. He'll talk your ear off.
What I will tell you is, I know, and I don't want to spoil it. That actually makes me worried, because I know how my son told me it ends, because I haven't seen the end yet. So I got spoiled for the ending, and I worry that he's not going to have as much of a role in future seasons. Oh, that can be a
spoiler. You know what? He also was tapped to write Suicide Squad 2 until they put James Gunn in there. So I'm sure, and I think he turned in his script, so I think you would have things to talk about.
Oh, heck yeah.
James Gunn ruins everything.
Not Guardians.
I'm picking on James Gunn. Although, like I said,
that's nice of you, because I hear he's crying in his closet right now.
Yeah, I know. He's doing fine. Although, I don't know. I still say there's something else out there. I don't know. Yeah, I won't. No. Okay, fair enough. No, good for James Gunn that he got the job. But I also never liked the idea of someone writing something and then someone else coming in just because they're a bigger name.
Right.
All right.
Just because you're a bigger name doesn't mean you're better at it.
All right,
That's
we only
right.
got a couple minutes left, so let's cut it off because Little Fizz cracks the whip about keeping this to an hour, and I'm sure
Yeah, well, and I got a split here, so
Yeah, he was trying to get out a while ago. I told him he could leave, and he just stuck around. So,
well,
I was mesmerized by the mustache.
as people are.
all right. So, any last plugs before you leave, Mr. Rob Southgate?
Yeah, you want me to go for another half hour about our event? So you can go to our website and you can hook up for that event. I'll tell you what, the tickets are going fast. So if you want to go and you're in Chicago, they're $10 a ticket. Get them now, like now. And Phil, I can send you the stuff so they can click on the show notes to go right to the ticketing.
Yes, please. Do.
Let's see, what else? You can follow me at R Southgate on Twitter. You can follow the company at SMG Pods on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. I do a show. It's one of the only shows I'm really doing right now consistently, about the business of new media called New Media Lab with Robert Southgate. And I have some incredible guests this season.
It's very good.
Like incredible that you haven't heard yet. So get ready. There's more to come. So check that out. And, we have a Facebook group and a Facebook page. And, This Week in Geek has a group now, called This Week in Geek Geeks Den. So check that out. That's what it's called, right, Phil?
Yes.
Geek Den. Coming up next week, which is the 9th and 10th of March. If you're out in this area, GeeksCon is happening in Elgin, and I will be there live at a table with Chicago Podcasters Unite. It's GEEKZ Con, and they have a website, and it's just like a really affordable, family-friendly con. It's a local brew. Alil and Chris from Blue Box put it together. It's awesome. So if you're in Chicagoland, you want to do something fun with the fam, there it is. And there are some great artists on that, and me. Yeah, I think that was all my plugs.
All right.
Oh, and you can write me an email if you want to contact me at southgatemediagroup@gmail.com and join those Facebook groups, Chicago Podcasters Unite and Chicago Podcasters. Done.
Just send me the whatever info you want me to put in the show notes.
I'll send you a link.
All right.
Can I leave?
Yeah, you can leave if you want.
I do. I really have to go. Charlie, thank you for the banter. Phil, thank you for sitting there quietly.
Thank you.
This was a lot of fun. I really do want to come back, and I really want to come back with Lilith because, Lilith and I have a lot to say to each other all the time. She was actually a regular on New Media Lab, believe it or not.
Hey, Rob, I have no pressure, but if you can make it out in April, we're all going to sit down.
I'm really trying. It's on my calendar.
We're all going to try to sit down in the same room because that's going to be Capes and Lunatics episode 100.
Really?
Yes. The timing works out perfectly. Yes.
Put the pressure on me. Well, it depends if I'm in country. Let's just put it that way.
If you're not in
Korea. The Queen takes precedent. So we've already established.
I thought he was meeting with Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what I'm doing, Phil.
Okay.
All right. I'm out. Thank you guys so much for having me on. Your show is awesome, and I can't wait to hear what you guys do next.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. All right. So, yes, anything we didn't get to, which was most of it, we'll try to see what we can squeeze in the super connectivity. So,
there's still Gotham.
Yes. But everyone join us next week. I don't know if Lilith will be back, so it'll be our Captain Marvel review, but a bunch of our friends are going to be here. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, facebook.com/capesandlunatics, @capeslunatics on Twitter, and the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And Charlie?
If you'd like to write to me in an old-fashioned email way, the way our Maws and Paws and the gang of the Orville once did. You always heard that AOL sound that the Kalons used to talk with each other. You can do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And of course, follow me on the Twitter so I live tweet the Orville and Gotham, which I actually got to do this week. Yay! At Charlie Esser, that's CHARLIE. ESSER. Look for the two E's in the middle.
Oh, you call me.
For quality, ping.
For quality.
Thank you.
Ding.
That's the one. Talking to his wife. He's got other things to do.
I know. Someone's banging down the door.
Okay. Well, you know, your child could be on fire, man. You gotta take care of that.
I know. But anyway, for another week, too bad Rob wasn't here for this. We have been the Capes.
Ampersand!
The Lunatics!
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know if he could have done ampersand. Because I actually wanted to bring that up earlier, but then my computer shut down. You want to do the ampersand or do you want to do the Lunatics? I'm willing to work with anyone.
Yeah. Check out what we had planned to do on super connectivity.
That's okay. You know, it's important to get the word out there about all of Rob's great events.
Yeah. We got the Orville.
You know, I have family in Elgin, and I really need to get to Elgin to see that family and then go to these.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully Rob can make it out in April, you know.
Yeah.
Be on Capes 100 with us.
Well, we'll see. Again, so, the Queen of England, okay?
I know.
That takes precedence.
God save the Queen.